Hey there everyone, Video Game Cabinet here, and tonight we're doing a review on Akumajou Densetsu for the Famicom. This is actually the Japanese version of Castlevania III Dracula's Curse for the NES. They're basically the same game with just a couple minor tweaks in difficulty and slightly better sound in the Japanese version. Anyways, without further ado, this is my review of Akumajou Densetsu. I originally played Castlevania III for the NES on emulation with save states back in high school, and it has long been one of my favorite titles for the 8-bit system. After all these years, I wanted to finally beat the game legitimately, but I opted to pop in the Japanese Famicom cart titled Akumajou Densetsu. This version has the superior sound quality and is supposed to be slightly more fair in its steep difficulty. I just spent the last week and a half playing through the game 4 times to venture through all the different paths and defeat Dracula with all 4 characters. This third entry in the Castlevania series is the best in the 8-bit trilogy. It brings back the linear level layout of the original, but keeps the sense of freedom pioneered in Simon's Quest by letting you choose different paths along your journey. Trevor Belmont can even recruit one of 3 party members as he progresses through the game. Grant is a dwarf-like character who can climb walls and throw daggers. Sypha is a witch with powerful magic spells and a quick but short-range melee attack. And Alucard is Dracula's son, who can transform into a bat to fly through certain sections easily. Trevor himself is still the most powerful character with his whip and boomerang combination. I loved choosing between the different paths to experience every single level, beautiful in their gothic design. There were tons of secret items to find and dangerous enemies to fight. Learning every monster's pattern is hard, and I loved every minute of it, no matter how many times I died and started over. The crows that swooped in at odd angles were especially pesky but satisfying to kill. The boss battles at the end of each level were awesome and got progressively harder as the game continued. The Grim Reaper battle in particular is an epic showdown that very much lives up to the legacy of fighting him in the first game. Fighting Frankenstein, the Giant Devil, the Skeleton Dragon, and Dracula himself were all memorable battles themselves. After the weak boss battles in Simon's Quest, it was great to see a return to form here. As the Castlevania series is known for, the music in Akumajou Densetsu is absolutely marvelous. Due to technical issues, the American version of Castlevania III had to downgrade the sound quality of the Japanese original, so I am really grateful I got to experience this music in its original form by playing the Famicom cart. If you have only played the American version, you must go back and play the Japanese version for the sound quality. The music here sounds so much more powerful and full compared to the American counterpart. Beginning, Mad Forest, Deadbeat, and Aquarius were my favorite tracks, but the rest were also great and fit the mood perfectly. The NES Famicom library has some of the greatest video game music composed to this day, and Akumajou Densetsu's soundtrack is up there with the best of them. Beating Akumajou Densetsu 4 times with all the character paths was an arduous journey, but a grand and unforgettable one. The different paths and teammates you can choose make each playthrough feel fresh, so the replay value keeps you coming back for more. And I cannot stop listening to that glorious soundtrack. Whether you play the American Castlevania III or the slightly superior Japanese Akumajou Densetsu, this is a classic action title of the 8-bit generation, and it is not to be missed. 9.5 out of 10. And that is my review. Yeah, a little bit of extra stuff I want to mention here. I bought this CIB Castlevania 3 like I said, I think back in high school, and I could never beat the game on the authentic cart, but I'm 99% sure that back then I beat it on emulation with save states, and I've long considered it one of my favorite NES games of all time. I put it in somewhere in the top 10 of the top 35 8-bit generation games that I made back in October of 2023. But yeah, this would still make the top 10, but the slightly superior version is this Japanese that I got about a year or two ago. This is just, it's a tiny bit better because the music just sounds a little bit more full, a little bit more rich. I think they had extra pins or an extra sound chip or something with this one. And after the last week and a half of beating this 4 times, I did pop in the American one this afternoon and messed around with it a little bit. I've noticed a couple small little details already. I didn't make it all the way through, but I can see some minor tweaks they made with some of the boss fights to make it a little bit harder. And I've read up on some other things that they did to make the game a little bit harder later. Like I said, I haven't played this version in like almost 25 years, and when I did, it was on emulation with save states. So eventually I might go back and try to beat this on the authentic cart, but we'll see. But as of now, I've done it on the authentic cart with the Famicom version. One other little point that I want to make, one other little technicality. I purchased this, like I said, about a year and a half ago-ish, from a very reputable retailer, Surugaya. They're a store in Japan, and they charged a fair price, and I very much believe this is authentic. However, when I popped it in on my Famicom, I was experiencing a glitch during the second to last level. When you get to the doppelganger fight, the game just freezes. I don't know. I mean, I have not opened up the cart because it's hard to do that with Famicom carts, but from what I've read online, this looks pretty legit. And like I said, I got it from a reputable source. My Famicom, it does use the correct AC adapter that you use for the Famicom. It's like different voltage or something than the American one. But I have a theory about something with the voltage coming out of the wall. Like I might need like a step down converter or something. I don't know. Maybe this game pushes the Famicom over the extra edge, and it just keeps on glitching and freezing right when I get to the doppelganger fight. So I don't know. The only way that I got around this though is, thank goodness, last year or so, I also bought the Castlevania Anniversary Collection for the Nintendo Switch, and this has both the American and the Japanese version of Castlevania III, Akumajou Densetsu, in perfect emulation. So what I did with all 4 playthroughs is that once I got to level, the second to last level, I think it was level 9 or something, and I got to that doppelganger fight and it froze, I just popped this in on the Switch, took my password, typed it in on here, it worked the same because it's perfect emulation, and I beat that one level on the Switch 4 times with the 4 different characters. I did not use save states at all. I beat it legit, and I taped a little bit of it and posted on my Instagram. And then once I reached the final stage, I got the code for that, and then turned this off, the Switch, and went back to the Famicom and beat the final stage back on the authentic cart. So I had to find a way to work around that glitch that I don't know why that's what's happening on my Famicom. I've searched online. Nobody else I know has seen that glitch. But that's just what I had to do. But it is a legit playthrough of the game. No save states, no cheating. Anyways, so yeah, I'm glad that's done. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this wonderful, wonderful game. I'm just so glad I have both the American and the Japanese, but the Japanese one is a little bit better because of the sound quality. And they're both very, very challenging games. Let me tell you, even though the Japanese is supposed to be a little bit easier than the American, this was a hard playthrough. And that second to last level with the doppelganger fight, that's probably the hardest level in the game. And yeah, it's a really incredible game, high replay value, on incredible music. The American version has very, very good music, but the Japanese version, oh my God, is just amazing. Absolutely one of the best soundtracks on the Famicom or the NES. So, anyways, I think that's about it. Those are my thoughts on Akumajou Densetsu. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. And that is it. Have a good night.